Hello, everybody. This is Alia Jamal, the love coach, and we are meeting for another love circle. And today's topic is, I believe, something that all of have experienced and still experience to some extent, and that is overcoming fear of rejection. Um, the way I have experienced it personally, I started with when I was just terrified of getting rejected, not knowing. That is the key. You might listen to this and you'd be like, oh, I'm not afraid of getting rejected. But I want you to pay very close attention because this is an unconscious behavior and your mind is going to take you in all kind of circles so you don't get to do the work that is needed to be done. Our unconscious mind is tricky that way. And the second part to it is if you have been working, this is time where you get to go deeper. I am every single day doing work on myself. I am involved in it. I am experiencing, I'm blessed to experience full immersion when it comes to self-development. That's what I am doing all day long, learning, implementing, studying, learning a little bit more. But last week, in the whole last week, I found twice that I was afraid of judgment or afraid of rejection, and I did not act because of that. In that moment, when my behavior showed up, that I just stopped, and there are all kind of excuses going on in my mind. Oh, because you're new here. Oh, because of that. Like all kind of excuses showed up. So in that moment, I bought into it. But later on, I every day I try my best to reflect on my day. Later on, when I sat with myself because it was not feeling right, and I started asking myself what actually happened there. It was fear of rejection that overcame and stopped me from being my true authentic self. And that's how it shows up when you just want to say something and then you're like, oh, I want to be polite. I'm not sure how everybody would react, and then you retract. You're like, I'll just say it next time. That is fear of rejection. And the reason it's a very important that we work through it, we understand it, and every single day we work on overcoming it consistently, at least being able to detect. Because if we are still in fear, whether it's we are in it for 10 seconds or 10 hours, our solar plexus chakra is covered. That is where your divine light is. When we achieve a good level of emotional mastery, that's when all of our light can come out and it can make the world brighter place. What does that mean in practical terms? That is when you make 100% contribution of who you are. And that is what we all are working towards. And that is what self development is all about, where you can let go of who you thought you are and you can become who you actually are. So, uh, this this conversation, I would say, listen to it slowly, carefully, pay attention. Don't let the part of your mind tell you that, oh no, you have overcome it. We have never overcome anything 100% because the part of our unconscious mind that doesn't want us to move forward or grow beyond um, its safety, and there's so many levels of safety, it doesn't want you to go there. It will bring perfect excuse as a perfect time, and you will buy into it. And when as soon as you'll buy into it, you'll stop. So we want to keep moving through our own self, keep expanding, keep growing. So let's dig in. So the first reason I even put on my notes, I got my notes right here. We want to overcome it because we want to live our full potential. If you have that desire within you that I want to live my full potential, that means that desire wants to come out and it wants to be expressed. And the fear of rejection has to go. Or at least you need to be so aware where you can see it, acknowledge it, and still be able to do whatever you want to do. And if we don't really share our divine light, you might be just thinking, okay, Alia, why do I want to work on all my emotions and really share my divine light? There are three kind of like disc in our etheric body. There's one over here at the crown chakra. One is over here at the heart. One is here in our solar plexus chakra. So when we master the way we think, that's divine power. When we master the way we love ourselves unconditionally and other people, that is when we become channel of divine love. And when we have mastered our emotions, that we don't get triggered by other people, we are in control. Emotions still will show up because they are our wonderful guides telling us where we are going within ourselves. But we can take back our control in that moment. That is divine light. The more you have worked on these three areas, you get to take that development with you. So when your soul gets pulled down, those discs get pulled out with the kind of development you have done. So if you, whether you believe in afterlife, whether you believe in reincarnation, however your afterlife belief is, it benefits you as a soul who you have become in this lifetime. We are not just here to, live a human life cycle. We are here to experience and grow. That's why it is important to let go, to work on overcoming our fear of rejection. Um, so this fear is tied to our worthiness issues, and it's also tied to our acceptance. It's all one thing. So I'm going to unpack it a little bit. So when we're very little, between age 0 to 7, and the very first time maybe you spilled the milk and mom just yelled at you, she couldn't even control herself in that moment. Maybe that was the only glass of milk that she had at that time, and she needed that, whatever the case was. Maybe she wasn't present with herself and she yelled at you. In that moment, you felt rejected. When you felt rejected in that moment, you also felt that you are not worthy. And in that moment, mom was not accepting you. So the acceptance issue come out of that as well. So when we are living as adults, when we are being whoever we are being, then this little voice inside of you says, I want to be different. You're afraid to be that person because then it's like, oh, what if I am not accepted by my peers? What if this happened? What if that happened? Your mind goes to that and you stay maybe plain vanilla, because staying plain vanilla is so much easier for you. Less conflict, and that's just how you want to be. And that is when we are suppressing our true self within us. That is when we start to get angry, resentful within ourselves, but we start to blame it on other people. But it's not their fault. It's our responsibility to let ourselves live 100%, to express ourselves 100%. But over time, that resentment and that anger turns into depression, and in extreme cases, also turn into cancer as well, because cancer root energy is resentment. So these are not light things. I know when it has to do with our inner world, we can completely ignore it because nobody can see it. No one can see you have worthiness issues. No one can see you are looking for other people to accept you. No one can see that you are afraid of rejection. No one can see that. But all that lives within you, it impacts your body, your experience of life, your life quality over time. I'm talking about a decade. So if you've been feeling this way in your early 20s, most likely by 35, you'll be there will be some kind of weird growth going on in your body. And then it's just like, oh my God, what's happening here? I got this thing, growing in my breast, in my ovaries, here, there, all kind of places. These are the things that we can address within ourselves. We can become aware. We can work through them, get in touch with them, process them, so they don't become sticky energy over time. Because our true self wants to come out and express itself. And there's no denying to that. There's no suppressing that. The more you suppress yourself, the crazier your body is going to come back and take revenge from you. So let's get into some of the ways where you can tell if you are afraid of being rejected. Now, these ways are very sneaky, so pay attention to it. I got some behavioral in there and some just like, whatever stays in your mind. So whenever you have hard time of saying no, here comes my wonderful kitten. Whenever you have hard time saying no, whether you're just trying to be polite, whether you just want to be the peacekeeper, or whether just like, you know what, I'll just do it. I have time. Why not? Whatever the case is, whenever you're having hard time saying no, there is a fear of being rejected. And we're going to talk about that, why this fear is so strong within us. The next one is when you care so much about other people. Let's say you have guests coming and you have already made the list which food somebody eats, and I need to make sure I'm going to get all of that. When you're going beyond and above and everything, but in your mind, you're saying, I'm a wonderful host. You know what? My mom used to be like that too. My grandma was a wonderful host as well. But what that doing is you're afraid of rejection unconsciously. What if that person doesn't like when they stay with me? Or what if they don't like the food that I have? When we try to over accommodate people, when we are calling ahead of time and asking, what is your favorite food? What should I make? Um, but you would be able to tell the difference when you are over accommodating or when you are just, asking the person so you don't have to think. But if that has been your way of being, you won't be able to tell. You'll just say, oh, yeah, I'm a wonderful host, and my mom was a wonderful host. It is so sneaky. To get to this fear of rejection that is within us. So be your own judge. You can always reach out to me. We can always talk about it. A lot of stuff we do as women under the umbrella of I am polite, I am nice, I am kind, I'm a good girl comes in the fear of rejection category. Okay, so the next one is when you are the peacekeeper of the house, when you're the one putting out all the fires. That is when you are afraid of being rejected. You don't want to speak your mind. You just want to be like, how about we all just be good, because you don't want any conflicts, because that is where you can get rejected. Uh, Focusing on pleasing others, when you have experienced social anxiety, you have hard time even going to specific places. I know somebody who have hard time even stepping out of their home to go to grocery store. I know somebody who have hard time going to the mall and just being there without feeling anxious. Um, so that comes under this category. When you're looking for other people to approve you or validate you, when you have to call 10 people to just ask them, hey, do you think I should do this or do you think I should do that? That is fear of rejection at play. I used to be that person. I'm the youngest in five girls, so I have four older sisters. So for the longest time, I would call like at least two or three of them and just ask them their opinion and still stay confused. That was fear of rejection. I am diligently working through that. Still shows up here and there when there is that deep need of just sharing and getting other people person opinion. And it does show up still. It doesn't go 100% away. We just become aware, oh, that's what's happening here. And I'll teach you what to do if you're able to detect that, what to do to change it, to rewire our unconscious mind and our unconscious behavior. Um, Another way it shows up when you feel stuck, when you are like, I don't know what to do, I'm just stuck, my life feels so stagnant right now. That stuckness, that freeze mode happens because of fear of rejection. You're afraid of moving forward because you're not sure if everybody else around you would still like you if you become this other person. It could be a career change. It could be like you just want to take a 1 year off. You don't want to be in the workforce right now, business or whatever. You just need rest. It could be you just want to go on a vacation and you just want to go alone and you feel stuck and you don't want to do it. Whenever the stuckness feeling or stagnancy comes in your mind, there's some kind of fear of rejection at play. And that shows up a lot when we feel stuck in our relationships, or we just don't want the other person to um tell us that, oh, don't do this, don't do that. We just stay quiet and we stay stuck. So pay attention to that in your own life. When your happiness depends on another person, for example, in parenting, for parents, it happens a lot. They have a kid, and now kid is everything. Kid is everything. They're doing everything for the kid. When the kid goes to college, the parents are sad, beyond general sad, to the point where they don't feel like they can function properly for months or weeks, and they just need that kid to be there. And their dependence is their happiness is dependent on that person. So that codependency, it could be with the spouse as well. Wherever there's codependency of any kind, there's fear of rejection. We stay so close to that person that because we are afraid if we separated and we became a person of our own, this person might not like it. Again, it's unconscious behavior. We are not doing it consciously. Consciously, we're trying to undo this behavior or adopt a different kind of behavior. So when a behavior is unconscious, we have to be very present and pay attention to that. Not speaking up. So if you have been told to just stay quiet for most of your life, and you don't even know how to voice that, it is coming from a fear of rejection. That is something I have overcome to a good degree, but I'm still working on it. It's not fully gone. And that's me being very honest with myself. And that is what it requires. You have to be very honest with yourself if you really want to grow. The next one is enabler. So, enabler is also a codependent behavior where you are, if you're an enabler, you kind of know it, that you keep putting up with someone's BS, and they keep being whoever they are, and you just keep picking up the slack. I have been there. And is it gone 100%? I don't think so, because I am still actively working on it. I am always paying attention to my own behavior, questioning what is the intention for me to do this. Are you sure, Alia? Are you sure why you are doing it? I have, that is, I think, one of the most common question I ask myself when I am just questioning my own behavior. And I believe we all should question our own behavior to see what is our intention. Are we doing it so everybody would say what a wonderful person you are, or we are doing it because that's who we want to be, truly in the depth of our soul. Uh, so that is our true self shining through us, or we're just trying to be a martyr or a good person, or everybody can say, look at that girl, she's just amazing, she's wonderful. We always have to ask that. When we don't want to stand out. So if you are uncomfortable with spotlight, that is fear of rejection. A lot of wonderful, wonderful women have like, big achievements to celebrate, but they've been taught that's not the humble thing to do. So they just, try to be humble, and they try to not celebrate all of that or show up with that light and that power and that presence. That's fear of rejection, but it's unconscious. Somewhere, somehow in the past, when they did shine or showed up that way, they were rejected. But it's very possible we were so young that we don't even remember that that is the case, that happened. When we do show passive aggressive behavior, when we do experience that within ourselves, that instead of just calling the person and telling them, hey, you did this, this, and that, and I'm not okay with it. Can we talk about it? When we can have difficult conversations face to face, that is when we are not afraid of being rejected. But when we are just playing games, let me go from this person and that person, and it happens a lot. I believe every single one of us who is present here, we have either experienced it within ourselves or within another person. And if we are being very honest, all of us have done it to some extent. Even with our friends, we're instead of talking to this friend directly, we are calling another friend and talking to them among our siblings. Maybe when you are upset with your mom, instead of calling directly to your mom, talking to her, you're talking to other people. It all comes under fear of rejection. So now let's get into why fear of rejection is so deeply rooted in our nervous system. So it comes from the biological survival. Way back in the time, if we have been rejected by the clan, we would actually die. If we are not with our group, a lion might eat us. It was a reality for a human race at some point. Maybe somewhere in the world it still is. But in our modern world, the way we are living right now, the way our communities are, nobody dies if we get rejected. But still, psychologically, we feel that I would actually die. And from my firsthand experience, I can tell the last time when I experienced that, I was experienced this fear of rejection. What if this person doesn't like me anymore? My heart was racing. My body was more like in a panic attack kind of mode. Like my whole nervous system was going like this, and I had to put my hand on my heart and breathe from here. Keep expanding it, because when our heart expands, our nervous system shifts from that fight or flight mode to being in parasympathetic mode. So what this fear of rejection does, it takes you into that stress mode, that sympathetic mode. Your whole physiology changes. You feel under attack. You're not under attack, but you feel. The feeling is real. And whenever the feeling takes over, the thinking shuts down. So, in that moment, even though you know that if you said your truth, you're not going to die, this person is not going to leave you, but your thinking is shut off, feeling takes over, and you become paralyzed and you stay quiet and you don't say what you want to say. So this is not something light. This is serious stuff. It does take over us. And every time when you hold yourself back, you're betraying yourself. When you betray yourself, you break your trust with yourself. Over time, you're going to have low self esteem. You're going to have low confidence. Your self image is going to suffer. Your self identity is going to suffer. And you are not going to be in love with yourself unconditionally. You're going to start resenting yourself over time. That I am a grown person. Why can't I just do it? Because your biology has a hold on you. So let's talk about what we can do. First, we want to understand fear. Whenever there is a fear, it is to be in control. Because in that moment, we'd rather be in control and stay quiet instead of speaking our truth and not knowing what will happen. So control becomes more important when we are working, when we are under any kind of fear, we are playing with fear. It's about control. Control is tied to safety. And if we are looking for safety outside of us, our safety would get challenged at every single corner. So if you have not developed that safety within you, it is going to feel unsafe being around somebody that you might have conflict with. So safety is involved. So that is where you have to bring in the truth. The truth is we are never safe. And you can actually sit with that. You can just sit, meditate on it. Safety is not real. It's just an illusion. The truth is anything can happen to any one of us at any given time. But we trust in life, we trust in God, we trust in ourselves that nothing will happen. So when we are looking at that there is no safety, then what is it that we can anchor our safety in? So the truth is that we are divine being. Our true safety is our divinity. And if you're not spiritually connected or activated to a level where you can really feel your soul, you can really connect with that energy, you can feel there's a power living through me, if you're not there yet, it might just feel weird. You can just start with this thing. Hey, my true safety is my divinity. There's a power that lives through me. Maybe I don't understand it. Maybe my mind does not have the capacity to understand how that works. Maybe I have never been interested in it. Maybe it sounds too much for me. But in that divine ability or that divine power that is within us, we are always safe. You can never kill a soul. You can kill a body, you can never kill a soul. You can hurt a body, you can never hurt a soul. I know in sometime in writing, we use this got to my soul. My soul felt hurt. My soul has been shattered into pieces. We use that linguistic term, but your soul never get hurt because it's a different um it's a different kind of material for lack of a better word. It's not this, it's not solid. Can you hurt air? Can you hurt light? Our soul is light. No one can hurt it. It's never going to die. So start pondering and focusing on that, and you will start feeling more safe within you. One of the things I do with my clients, I teach them how to create that safety within them so they are not seeking it outside of them. And the way we do it is first processing through the nervous system and then really connecting with this divine power within us. And when that connection happens, everything starts to change. Every single thing starts to change in our life. So just to talk about our nervous system and how it has hold on us, let's say you are in a situation where you're afraid of getting rejected, keep telling yourself, my safety is in my divinity. You can even put your hand on your heart. I'm a divine being. I am always safe in my divine self. What happens to body? You can always recover from it. You can recoup with it. You can use that divine power to even heal your body. The only thing we cannot really heal is death. But again, our soul has already decided when it's going to leave. So there's no reason to be afraid of that either. So this is how you can start shifting your nervous system. This part is just for your nervous system. Now, think of a moment when you felt so rejected that you felt like you were going to die. Or any situation like social anxiety or a person that you can't even talk to, bring that image in front of you. Now, this is a part where we are going to rewire your unconscious mind. So unconscious mind does not know what's imagination, what's past, what's present, what's future. It doesn't know that. For our unconscious mind, everything exists in this moment. Everything exists all at the same time. Your childhood exists right now. Your current self exists right now. 10 years ago exists right now. So we are going to use our God-given mechanism that exists within us is visualization, imagination. So now imagine yourself being back in that moment and imagine whatever was happening, and then imagine acting the way you wanted to act, but you didn't. Just be in your body, because what will happen when you'll try to imagine a uncomfortable moment like that, your awareness would want to go out of your body and just be somewhere else, and your body is going to feel very empty. But close your eyes and be in touch with your body. Stay in your body. You can even touch your body so your awareness stays here. Stay present with your body and imagine that. When you will do that, you can also focus on your breath. So let's say I am imagining I wanted to say something, I didn't. So I'll just imagine that this way. Put my hands on my body and I'll focus on my breath and I'll bring the scene. And then right now I am saying whatever I wanted to say. I can actually feel something in my spine right now. very discomfort feeling in my spine, but I'm staying in that moment. I'm staying in my body. I'm focusing on my breath. And I said what I needed to say. Now I hear other people saying that's a wonderful point. Now I hear other people say they even want to learn more about what I have to say. I'm creating all that right now myself. My unconscious mind doesn't know. And as I am moving through that, now my backbone, like, my spine is feeling okay. Like all of a sudden there was a rush of current. And now it's like, okay, the energy has settled. So, what my unconscious mind learned right now, I did not betray myself in that moment. I did not become afraid of rejection. I spoke my truth. I showed up as who I am authentically. It has saved that memory. So, next time when I want to say it, it's going to be just easier to do it. If you do have an event that is very charged, practice it for a few days, maybe for a week, till your whole nervous system feels very stable when you are going into this visualization. It's a very powerful tool that you can use to even, like, navigate the difficult relationships in your life or whatever you're going through right now. I have used this tool to create massive changes in my life, massive changes in relationships. It's simple, very effective, works perfect, because this is a God given mechanism we have within us to develop ourselves to a higher level. So that is the second thing you can do. So the first thing was focusing that you are always safe in your divinity. The second is actually practicing and rewiring your nervous system. And the third would be giving yourself different experience. So what does that mean? Let's say you don't feel comfortable going to the mall, right? Because there's too many people, it's so weird, whatever it is. Go to the mall on a day off. Um, let's say when, for example, the area I live in, everything is closed on Sunday. I've gone back in time. Everything is closed on Sunday, but I really enjoy it. It gives me a relaxed Sunday. Go to the mall on a after it's closed. Go to the mall before it opens and just go there and give yourself that experience. When you will give yourself that experience, slowly your nervous system is going to start calm down, and you will start building trust with yourself. Trust is one of the most uh, fundamental, important, foundational piece that we need to have a healthy relationship with ourselves. It's one of the most important thing you can ever invest time, energy, and money to build within yourself. If you trust yourself, you can conquer the world. So when you're going back to that place, let's say before hours, after hours, if you're talking to that person, even in your imagination, or you go to their house, even if you don't say anything, but you're getting out of that barrier that's keeping you stuck, whatever the situation is, that different experience is going to loosen up everything for you. And it is going to start changing you. It sounds so easy, but it's so powerful. But you have to give yourself the experience to actually benefit from it. So try that one as well. The fourth thing that you can do, you can close your eyes and you can ask yourself, how would I look, feel, and be if I'm a fearless person? If I'm not afraid of somebody's rejection. I actually have a quote here from one of my coaches. If you knew you were good enough, smart enough, or were not worried about what someone else may think, what would you do? That is the image. So really imagine that person. Would you be taller? Would you be skinnier? Would you be bulkier? Would you be shorter? How would your hair look? How would your body feel? What kind of clothes you'll wear? And what is the way of your walking and talking? If you do become that fearless person, again, another wonderful, powerful tool that you can use. Just close your eyes and imagine you are that person. what you're doing, you are visualizing, and that visualization is rewiring your unconscious mind that, hey, I am this person. And it can change your life so fast when you are visualizing that you're this person. Yes, it requires work every single day. There's no day off when it comes to building yourself. You can take Sunday off if you like, or whatever is your favorite day off, but there's not really any day off when you're doing this inner work, when you're building that image for yourself, when you're giving yourself permission to all of you to come out. So do this work. I'm just going to recap that one of the ways that we talked about was focusing on your safety and your divinity. And the second one is playing the scene in your body, in your mind, while staying present in your body, focusing on your breath, and just imagining whatever you wanted to do that you didn't. Now, don't go slapping people around in your imagination. We are not talking about that. Be kind and polite, because whatever we are visualizing, it is becoming part of our life. We don't want to create drama in our life. Um, Give yourself a different experience. And the fourth is connecting to the image of yourself as a fearless person. So that is all for today. I am so excited that the way this workshop went, this conversation went. Um, and I really hope you find it beneficial. Any question, reach out to me. We can talk about any of the thing. If you are ready to take this journey where you become this fearless version of you, I am here to guide you. Let's have a conversation and let's start that journey for you. I am sending you lots of love. Bye.